Michael Saylor is the Bitcoin whale of Bitcoin whales. After his most recent purchase just this week, he now owns 140,000 Bitcoin, worth around $4 billion. And fun fact, that means Michael Saylor could sell one Bitcoin every single day for 300 years, and he would still likely have more Bitcoin than you. Now, I believe that Bitcoin's success and then price will be going a lot higher over the next few years, and this just means that Michael Saylor is going to become very, very rich. However, what I'm going to show in this video is that if you buy and take your position in Bitcoin as of today, then you would be buying it at a lower price than Michael Saylor. And we'll be looking at why Bitcoin makes more sense today than any time in history. Then we'll take a quick look at Saylor's wealth building strategy he's been using to build his fortune. And then we'll finish with his one secret strategy, which I think everybody has missed. As always, if you do enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like. Always appreciated. Okay, so first up, the reason Michael Saylor has been so confident to go all in on Bitcoin is that he understands what's going on better than anybody else.
A mainstream crisis of confidence. And the most important chart is the 5-year chart of the 1 month or 3 month T-bill rate. And if you look at that chart, then of course you realize that it kind of was 180 basis points, 6 years ago. They took it up to 250 basis points, broke things. Then they brought it back to 100 basis points in January of 2020. And then they crashed to 0 basis points or something like that in March of 2020. And then we were at 0 on the floor for about 18 months. And then we went into a steep climb from 0 to 475 or 500 basis points or the like over the next 12 months. And of course, what you're doing when you take it to 0 is you're inflating the credit bubble to infinity. And then when you're pulling back on the stick of the airplane and you're taking it from 0 to 500 basis points, you're ripping the wings off the airplane, which is the entire economy. So you can't fly a $500 trillion economy like some Red Bull sports aircraft, without, you're either going to black out, you're going to crash and burn, or you're going to rip the wings off of the plane and black out, and then you'll crash and burn. So there you go, a mainstream crisis of confidence in a $500+ trillion economy, a micro crisis of confidence in the crypto economy. A year ago, all these things were kind of under the surface, and they've all kind of come to the surface in the last 12 months, and every one of them's been brutal. What's happened in the last 2 weeks? Massive Bitcoin rally. Why? Well, I think that if you just put all that into your synthesizer and you say, what do I trust? What am I willing to invest my money in? Where's my safe haven with all this anxiety? And the safe haven is simple. It's Bitcoin.
Okay, so what we're looking at here is all of the buys of Michael Saylor. So in blue, this is Bitcoin's price as it did this double top. Then the 2022 madness where it all came crashing down, and then where we are right now. And this is a perfect example of dollar cost averaging by a huge Bitcoin whale. So it started around here, around August 2020, and these early buys were absolutely crucial, just above the $10,000 mark. After the run up to 20,000 again, so these buys were very, very key. And he always refers back to when he started his Bitcoin strategy. And you have to admit, he timed these absolutely perfectly just before Bitcoin and crypto went on an absolute tear. Now, from there, we had the massive run up past 40,000, and in the crash, acquired some more just above the 30,000. it shot up again. This time he's made buys above $50,000 and even $60,000. In the first crash, acquiring more around the 40,000 and again close to 50,000. We had this next double top as it came down. Some more buys around the $60,000. So don't worry guys, if any of you listening bought crypto when things were near all-time highs, so did Michael Saylor. More at 50,000, 40,000. And then this is the other really important point. With dollar cost averaging, it's okay to buy near the tops as long as you buy in the crashes as well. And these 5 purchases are really, really key. So again, around 20,000, he got it between 15 and 20. So these were near perfect. And then his most recent one, which he's just done, again, around 24,000. And this means this green line, this is his average. So when you account for all the buys, Michael Saylor will be breaking even around the $30,000 mark, which at the time of this recording, we are still slightly below. So you can still get in lower than Michael Saylor. And this brings us on to the final segment, which is the one thing Michael Saylor does, which could be the true secret to his success. See if you can spot it.
Why don't you break this down simply for people like me that don't fully understand it?
Okay.
Is constantly growing. It's happening as all of these new companies,
So let's just start at the beginning, if you don't mind, explaining what is it?
Sure.
Michael Saylor is one of the biggest Bitcoin whales in the world, who now owns 140,000 Bitcoin. He explained that by taking interest rates down to near zero, which massively expanded the credit bubble, and then jacking the rates back up at the fastest time in history to 5%, has now created a crisis in a $500 trillion economy. And he says that the reason Bitcoin rallied is that people are now finally waking up to it actually being a potential safe haven. Michael Saylor has perfectly demonstrated the dollar cost averaging strategy. As you saw, many of his buys were above $50,000 and even $60,000. But then he's also been buying in the biggest crashes. So his average is around the $30,000. And this just means when Bitcoin breaks above, he's going to be very, very rich. However, remember, if you were to buy and take your position in Bitcoin right now, you would be buying it at a lower price than Michael Saylor. And finally, remember, in all the madness, in all the FUD, and trying to hodl through all of it, remember to take a breath. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now tell me, do you think Michael Saylor is going to get very, very rich off Bitcoin? Let me know below. But for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.